Welcome to SF Commercial Property Conversations with Bruce Bean, where Bay Area investments meet expert insights. Get ready to unlock the strategies of commercial real estate success.
So today we have Tim Chen from Connected Companies with us, and Tim is in the development world. He has a very interesting origin story of actually coming from China to the U.S. And Tim, it's great to have you. I'd just love to hear how you got from there to here and into real estate. It sounds like a very interesting story.
Yeah, thank you, Bruce. Thank you for having me. Love to share my stories.
So you started in China.
Yeah. So, just give everybody a quick background of myself. So, I was born and grew up in China, and I came to the States when I was I think it was 18 or 19. After I finished like high school, it was kind of out of nowhere. My dad's like, "Hey, you're going to the States, right?" And all of a sudden, I was like, "Okay, I'm going to the States," without knowing anything. I spoke English, but it wasn't really good. It was more like broken English. I had to take 3 level of ESL class just to kind of go through, the whole process. I managed to get into USC and graduate with accounting and a business major. And so entrepreneurship was big back then. Like Facebook was big. Everybody was trying to have a little startup. So I was like, okay, I think I was naive enough to start a company. I was like, I think I can. So I never ever wanted to have a W-2 job. So I think I was like, okay, I can do this. So I started a company selling digital marketing service, basically like a website, SEOs, all that. That's like 14, 13 years ago. So what I did was that I managed to hire, I think, up to 10 people in the Philippines. Okay. So outsourcing was already like big back then. So my cost was like maybe just say $500 per website. I would knock on doors, like door to door, basically on the street for every single small business and just ask them, hey, would you buy my website service? It was like 1,500, right? That's my service. So I will have like $1,000 markup. That's what I did. But I mean, it was tough. I mean, nobody wanted to buy. I probably closed 1 or 2 sales, but my cost was like, I don't know. It was a lot of, I had like probably $10,000 to start up with. That's money I saved. But I burned that money probably, I think within like maybe 3 or 4 months. Yeah. So it didn't really go anywhere. I was like, it didn't work out. So I tried different things back then. I tried to sell like medical gloves. I even tried to sell pedometers. I don't know if you know what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Pedometers. Yeah. I actually went to China to the factory in Shenzhen, try to like produce that. It was, I did a lot of things, but it didn't really work out that well. Then one day, one of my friend called me and said, hey, Tim, one of his friends have a company flipping houses in Compton. Compton is like a not so good area of like LA. Asked me if I want to go check it out and see if there's any opportunity. So I did my internship there for 3 months. Then I was like, okay, it sounds like something I wanted to do, but I'm not sure. So, but one day, one guy, like one of their, like kind of, I would say, deal finder or real estate agent came in. So he was his Hispanic gentleman, didn't really speak English, but he was able to make $100,000 commission from my friend's company by finding them deals. I was like, wow, I think I can probably do the same because I speak English, right? That's what I thought. Then I left my friend's company. I got my real estate license in August 2013.
Oh, wow.
So I become a residential real estate broker. I joined KW Williams. Then just kind of thinking that I can make 100K per year. I worked pretty hard for like 12 months, and I did open house every single weekend. It was summertime, so hot. I had to put. I don't even know. Like I don't know if you do like open houses, but so basically in the morning you have to put all the metal signs up right on every single corner of the street. Then there was morning time. Then I have to go back home and take a shower. Then come back 2 o'clock for the open house, 2 to 5 o'clock, right? And stay there. Then after 5 o'clock, I have to take back all the signs. Oh my gosh, the whole day. So I was just sweaty, but I couldn't close any sale. I I don't think I have closed any sales from that.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I mean, yeah. So, I mean, I didn't like it, right? So it was more like,
Oh, hard
there
work.
was a lot of emotion involved. They saw this
Yeah.
cabinet and it's like, I don't like the color of the cabinet. I'm not going to buy, right? All this kind of emotion involved. It wasn't really, to me, it wasn't really a professional world. A lot of like, um, home buyers, they're emotional. I don't know, they just have a lot of opinions that I didn't really
Yeah.
like. So I was trying to find a way out. I was like, wow, what do I do? I don't know. Like, I tried to figure out my life, but I
Mm,
didn't know what to do. So one of
mm,
my friends actually, uh, in my like in my brokerage company actually that I work for approached me and said, "Hey Tim, one of my friends who works in the commercial world, he's a commercial broker, wanted to find a junior broker. Would you be interested?"
mm.
I kind of turned her down at the very beginning, because in my mind, in my like experience, you have to work as a successful real estate access. You have to be a successful residential real estate agent for 10 years before you move to commercial. That's what I thought. I didn't know
Oh,
that.
oh, wow. Yeah.
That's what I thought, right? Because
Uh,
that was like that's my limited belief. I was like, okay. I was like, well, let me try to figure out the residential real estate first. I don't think I'm interested for now. I kind of turned her down first. She called me 3 more times and said, "Hey Tim, my friend's pretty successful. Why don't you meet with him first?" I was like, okay. Then I met with my previous senior broker. His name
right.
is Eric. I was like, yeah, hey Eric, pretty good, right? So the moment I saw him, I knew I probably want to work for him because everything was like different, right? Suit up, Rolex, you know,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
yeah, how different.
Success.
Yeah, it's different, right? It's like
Yeah,
he's a
yeah,
whole
right.
right. He positions himself as like a successful commercial real estate broker. I said, wow, it's different. It's different than residential, where my I don't know, my coworker might be like wearing like flip flops and then t-shirts. I was like, okay. He's like, hey Tim, come to my office. So it was a CBRE office, right?
Oh,
CB
yeah.
Restaurant
Okay.
Outlets. Yeah. So I went there. Oh my gosh, everybody's different, right? Everybody's like, it's like 100 Erics, show up at the same time, suit up, fancy
Right.
watch, everything. I was like,
Right. Right.
wow, it's a very nice office. I was like, wow, that's a that's an office I want to work in. So yeah, then Eric's like, hey Tim, yeah, I didn't like you, but you have to go through 3 rounds of interviews. First round is me,
Wow.
second round is like is the office manager. His name is Joe. Joe's a very tough. Joe's a tough guy, right? And
Yeah.
then third round is me. I was like, wow, I have never ever done any interview before. I've never done an interview, so I don't know what interview is about. I was like, what do you mean interview? Like, what kind of question are you going to be asking? He's like, well, just randomly checking, but hey, just want to get to know more about you. I was kind of scared and very like nervous. So I asked my friend who introduced me to Eric. I was like, "Hey, what do I do? I've never done any interview." He's like, so Tim, try to prepare these 3 questions." I said, "What do you mean?" So he's like, "Hey, first question, why you? Why is you? Second, your weakness, and third, it's your strength." They're gonna probably ask you about all those questions, but maybe like indirectly. Right? I said, okay, I'll prepare these 3 questions. So I prepared 3 questions. I studied the whole. I don't know. I just preparing the whole night. Then the interview was 9 o'clock the second day, but 8 o'clock I was already in front of the office, just kind of try to like memorize everything. Right? Like,
Yeah.
hey, that's
Right.
my answers, all that. I remember vividly. So 9 o'clock I walked in. The moment I saw Joe, the office manager, it's like blank. I was like, shoot, I
Oh,
don't remember anything. I was like, wow, what do I do? I don't
it
remember
just
anything.
boom. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
because I was so nervous. I wanted so bad. So I'll tell you, here's how I think I got this job. So Joe asked me, it was just a typical in the process. Hey, Joe asked me, hey Tim, welcome, right? Thank you for the time. So that, just don't be nervous all that. So Tim, any question for me before we start the interview? So he asked me this question. It's out of nowhere. I was like, yeah, I have a question. I said, what's your question? I said, when can I get started?
Oh.
It wasn't really it was not a prepared question, I swear. It was not a prepared question. It was not a prepared answer. It was just like, okay, I just want to ask that question. When can I get started? Right? Yeah, of course, right? Joe went through, all the, like actually 3 questions. He did, but he was asking indirectly, say, hey, Tim, who's your best friend? I was like, my best friend is Michael. So he's like, hey, If Michael, you know, if Michael will tell us, hey, Tim, there are three things that you need to improve. What are they? Right? I was like, of course, I cannot tell you my true weakness. I was like, yeah. Michael would tell me, Tim, don't work too hard. Try to say no's all day. So anyway, all that. Then after the interview, he asked me another question before I left. He said, hey, Tim, do it full time again, right? Just go back. You heard from us in a few days. So before you leave, any questions for me? I said, yes. So I repeat my question again. How can I get started? And when can I get started? You let me know when. I'm ready now, right? Then I think that's how I got myself a job at CBRE. Yeah,
That is a good question. Yeah.
it was a desire. I think it was. I was really. I would say I was desperate. Right? I was very desperate. I was like, yeah, I need to get this company, otherwise my life will be like effed up, right? What do I do?
Yeah.
I just, yeah. Then, yeah, I mean, yeah. So I got a job as a multifamily broker at this team, right? But again, right, it wasn't really something that I I signed up for this job, but I really wasn't expecting things I didn't know. So it was all cold calling and meetings. Oh my gosh,
Yeah. Right.
English is my second language. Right? I was 26, 27 back then, and
Mhm.
that was 10 years ago. And I tried to get a 70-year-old guy who owns like 20, 30 million worth of real estate
Yeah.
to yeah and live with me. Oh my gosh, it was very tough. I remember like when I went to at the very beginning, I went to a lot of meetings. They're like, "Are you new? Oh, do you know there's another big broker in this area? His name is they just say Richard, right?" I was like, "Oh my god," it was very embarrassing. Yeah, I didn't know
Yeah.
how to answer that. Yeah, it was tough. Like first 24 months, I would say. I got my first listing in like after 18 months of getting the job.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, it was tough. It was cold calling every single day, right? I mean, English is my second language. I couldn't. I always tell people. I told them I was like, hey, I think I learned 80-90% of my English at CBRE when I was cold calling because I was just talking every single day for like 3, 4, 6 hours, right? So
So how
yeah.
many calls would you make in a day?
So the goal was really to make 250 dials a week. So 50
Oh,
dials
oh, wow.
a day. So 50 dial doesn't mean you get to talk to the other. It could be disconnecting, numbers. It could be wrong
Right.
numbers. It could
Right.
be this and it could be like FUs, all this. So I probably talk to, I would say, 2 to 5 meaningful conversation per day.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then,
Not
we
a,
try to get 2 to 3 meetings per week, right? Like in-person
yeah.
meetings, right? With the owners all that. Yeah. But I mean, yeah. So I got my first listing after 18 months, and it was
Wow.
also a, a very funny story because when I got my list, it was a little like 6 units in money. His back owner, father passed away a few years back, and there's like I think 10 brothers and sisters. They just try to split the property. After I got the listing, I asked the owner, I was like, why did you give me the listing? You know what they said? They're like, Tim, you know what? There's a real estate agent. I think he's from like Market Military. He has been calling me for 25 years, and
Right. Right.
he's we love him. The whole family loves him, right? But I think he happened not to call us in the past like 6 months, and I forgot his name. I forgot his phone number. I don't know how to get a hold of him. You happen to call me. Then you
Oh,
got a
wow.
listing.
Oh,
Yeah, right. He was working for 5 years, working so hard, but me
wow.
as a newbie just happened to call in the Friday afternoon. He happened to pick up the phone call. That's how I got my listing.
Oh.
So, I think commercial real estate brokerage, right? In this world, consistency is the key. You keep calling for 5 years, then you stop calling. Maybe you're on vacation, something happened, you don't call, then somebody else, just it's brutal
Right.
industry. Just somebody else just grab the listing. It's
The-
very brutal industry. So yeah, so I learned my first lesson. You gotta be consistent.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Consistency. Keep calling.
yeah, yeah.
Keep,
Keep calling. Yeah,
don't give up. Yeah. So
yeah.
you're at CBRE. How long did you stay there?
Actually, just short of 4 years. So 3 months and 11. Sorry, 3 years and 11 months, just to be exact. But
Oh,
just
okay.
let's just say four. Let's just say 4 years. Yeah, 4 years as a multifamily broker full time.
And then you went into connected companies. What happened next?
No, so after like yeah, so almost 4 years into the brokerage business, I know I you know I know I kind of hit a bottleneck where try to figure something out next. And I mean, of course, right? I learned how to invest in commercial real estate, how to like, you know, make money in multifamily from my clients. I kind of learn on their dime, right? I make my
Right.
commission, yeah, but yeah, they I see how they make money. I'm like, yeah, I think I can do the same thing. So March 2019, I mean, at the end of 2018, I already knew I want to kind of quit. I know I want to, be an investor, full-time investor, but I, again, right, broker investor, two different things. So I didn't know how to get started, but I know I want to be an investor. So March 2019, I finally quit brokerage without knowing what to do next. I was like,
Oh,
yeah. So I just quit brokerage, just like kind of blindly. Then my partner Chaplins, I'll tell you the story that how I met Chaplin. So I met
okay.
Chaplin about 10 years ago when I first started brokerage company. I didn't actually met him. I met his father first, Mr. Mu. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
so I'm sitting in the building right now. So I don't know if you can see this. This is a this is a 60 units brand new
Yeah.
developments. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a senior housing that Chapman's family developed. It's 60 units. It's worth probably about $22 million today.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, they probably $10 million, on this property. So when I met with his father, it was just a three single family over here right now on the side,
Oh,
on this side. Yeah,
wow.
so uh but his father knew I was so green, but kind enough, to meet with me. Say, hey Tim, you're a nice young guy. Just keep going, right? Be consistent. You'll make a way. You're like you'll be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Then yeah, that's how I met Chaplin. But when I met with him, he was probably like freshman in college,
Oh,
right?
wow.
I don't know if like, do you have I don't know if you have kids, right? So it's like a kids in teenage. It's like kids with a spirit where,
Yeah, yeah.
earring, spiky
Oh,
hair, tattoos, all that. Just like why am I in the meeting? Like why am I here? So it was a funny meeting back, but it was 10 years ago. So but Chaplin actually, so he graduated from Georgetown real estate program master.
oh, yeah.
Around like 2016, 2017. That's so he graduated then. So he knew I was quitting brokerage from his father, Mr. Mu,
Yeah.
and approached me, say, hey Tim, you want to be an investor, right? I want to be an investor too. But I was like, you just graduated from college, what do you mean? Right? Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
even have
Right.
a
Right. What do you think?
work
Yeah.
experience. Yeah. So he approached me 3 times wanting to partner up with me. He said, hey Tim, I already have a name for our company. I said, what do you mean? He said, the name is Connected Companies. I was like, I don't think I'm going to partner up with you. He was like 24, 25, no work experience at all. Right. I was like, yeah, we're going to go and get scammed, by like experienced investors, like we for sure will make huge mistake. We lose a lot of money. I don't want to partner up with you. So I kind of turned him down at the very beginning. Because my idea is very simple, right? My idea is find a mentor who have done it who have done it before,
Right.
kind of
Right.
mentor me, right? That's the typical, thoughts. But I couldn't find anybody, So after a few months, I was like, okay, yeah, I think Chaplin is probably the only one that I can partner up with. I was like, why don't we do this? Before we even formally form a company, let's buy, one or two properties first, right? So,
Yeah.
we can test the partnership. If it goes well, yeah, we can, form a partnership. Then we bought a 10-unit property in Riverside, like in LA, another 5 units in Ontario. That's
Okay.
2019, okay?
Yeah.
No investor money, just us 50-50.
Yeah.
Then it actually worked out pretty good.
Yeah.
The partnership, it was pretty smooth. I was like, okay, now we're ready. Then 2020, I mean, we're like, okay, let's just go out and conquer the world. Right? Then pandemic hits, so we couldn't do anything. Nobody's lending, nobody's buying, nobody's selling. Everybody's like, just kind of everything was just kind of put on hold. End of 2020, I think the capital market start coming back. So we start, kind of start looking at deals. So the third deal that we have together is actually a pretty big deal in Seattle. So what happens that end of 2020, I always wanted to buy properties in Phoenix, a
Ah,
multifamily, right? It has
okay.
been a hot market for a long time,
Right.
even pre-pandemic. So I go to Phoenix like regularly, just try to, like find deals. So what I did was end of 2020, what I did was I didn't know anybody. So what I did
Mm.
was I go to Facebook and I type in multifamily Phoenix and try to join all those Facebook groups. Okay. Yeah. And try to get to know everybody, all the brokers, all that. So I randomly add this broker where he was posting deals in Phoenix, but it was all like brand new construction, 3% capital. I was like, yeah, that's not a deal, but yeah, let me just call him and see what's going on because I saw his website saying multifamily and self storage. So I thought he was doing both, right? And we
Ah,
were actually looking at self storage as well. So we had a Zoom call, right? So another Zoom call, I was telling him who we are, my background, we have money, we want to buy, we can close, right? And some of my track record. After a month, he came to his name is Dan. So after a month, he came to our office and actually this is we're sitting right now, so I show him the project in the area. He's like, oh, Tim and Chaplin, you guys are legit. So okay, let me keep it posted, right? After another month, he called me up, say, Tim, I got a deal for you. I was like, where is it? And how big is it? He's like, it's a deal in Seattle. It's $20 million. I was like, wow. I know nothing about Seattle, and $2 million that's too big for me. I don't think I have the money to buy it, but that's what I thought in my mind, but I didn't tell him that. I was like,
yeah.
yeah, just send it over. Just send it over. We'll see, right? It was sitting on my desk for probably like a month or two, for 2 months before I even dive into that. I didn't want to buy because I don't know the area. I just
Right.
don't know the area. Yeah, I have zero connection. But I couldn't find anything in Phoenix, and I started coming back to this deal. It was off market. So the, the broker didn't have the listing. So what happens that he knew one of the six owners' wife and overheard they might be selling. That's it.
Oh, wow.
No listing, no nothing, not even a tight connection. Yeah. So yeah, it's a funny deal. So I was like, okay, let me take a look at this deal. Then we start underwriting, dig into that deal, and realize it might be a deal. I mean, we're very conservative on underwriting.
Right.
So, but I was like, this is not going to be a $20 million deal because what he did was he take the sum of all the like a rent
Yeah.
and divide it by 5% cap rate and
Oh,
give me
yeah.
the $2 million. I was like, hey, damn, where are those expenses? He's like,
Yeah.
oh, sorry, Tim. Yeah, Tim, sorry about that. I
Yeah.
just forgot about it. But I did not know. But I mean, after closing, I knew. But Dan's a very good guy. But after closing, I knew uh, it, that was Dan's first deal. He just got his license. I
Wow.
didn't know that. After closing, that's what he told me. I was like, wow. He was a construction worker before.
Oh,
He worked at a real yeah. So it was his first deal. He didn't know. He didn't even know how to like underwrite deals, right? But anyways, right. But long story short, I look at the deal. He sent me the what is it called? I made the offer first with the rental, no expenses. So
right.
yeah, I was putting all the OMs from LoopNet and realizing, okay, I think the average expense ratio in Seattle market is like 38%. So I used that to underwrite, and but the true number came back as a 52% expense ratio because the rent's too low and they overspend on expenses. I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
wow, dang, it doesn't work. It's a 70 unit portfolio, right? It's
Wow.
two senior living, 55 plus of housing, and six duplexes.
Wow.
It's a 60 unit portfolio. So
Yeah.
I was like, dang, like probably I need to reach a $1.5 million. Otherwise, it's not a deal. I can't really, pull the trigger because the cap rate is already like very low. It was like 3.5% cap rate.
Oh, wow.
And I thought the deal was dead already, right? After 2 days, Dan called me and said, hey, consider the main decision maker is 95-year-old guy, CPA, real estate attorney, CFO, really tough to deal with,
Yeah.
it's just very tough to deal with. Yeah. He called me and said, Tim, I didn't get you 1.5. I got you 1.3. I said, well, okay, I think we have a deal.
All right.
Yeah, so we move forward with the escrow. So it's like 45-day close, but I don't know if you remember back then, 2021, everybody's so busy. Lender was like so busy where everything was
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
delay.
Right.
Yeah, so the lender called me up, say, "Hey Tim, I need two more uh weeks to close, right?" And like at the 40th day, I was like, "Wow, we're already non-contingent. What do we do?" Then the seller told us. I give two options. One, you either give another $500,000, or I'm going to take a deposit. The deposit, it was non-refundable, $240,000.
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, I was like, wow, that's, I mean, either one, we're not going to do it. Why don't I give you the third option? So we were looking at our bank account, because I wasn't really raising, I wasn't really raising money for the deal. I was just like, I thought we had the money to close, like just, for the down payment, right?
Right.
Then, because it was $10 million deal, but Chaplin was refinancing the property we're in right now.
Right.
Um, yeah, he had like probably like $5-6 million coming out. I have some money, and I have a local partner. He has some money to take down the duplexes. Then I was like, okay, I think we have cash to close. I told the broker. The broker was kind of freaked out. Wow, man, what do we do? What do we do? Right? I was like, dang, you know what? Tell the seller, F himself. We'll close in 3 days cash.
Oh,
So
wow.
we closed in 3 days, $10 million cash. Yeah, yeah. The
Oh,
seller
wow.
called us back to apologize after closing. Sorry, I was being an asshole. I don't know, too late. Yeah, yeah. It was a random story, but that's actually one of our best deals. I'll tell you the deal. I'll tell you the metrics. So the six duplexes I kind of wholesale to my friend. I didn't kept it, and for the 58 units, I'll give another story actually. Why I bought the deal, because I didn't know the area at all. So I went to Costa. I put out all the comps of the multifamily in the area. Try to call brokers to kind of do my DD, right. So I
Right.
called one. I mean, some brokers, they're so busy selling deals, they don't even pick up my phone call. So I managed to get a hold of one broker. I was like, um, hey Joe, I'm buying this property, and it's a 55 plus facility,
Yeah.
without giving him, because it was under contract, without giving him the address and the name. He just he told me. Then he was like, Tim, is it so and so? He gave me the name right away. I said, how do you know the name of the property? Because I didn't say anything. He said, Tim, we were under contract last year. I said, what do you mean you're on a contract? It wasn't listed. He said, yeah, the seller is very tough to deal with. And they were buying one of the property was like 24 units. They were buying one of it on a contract, but they didn't have the money. It was a 10-day close. Seller was tip top deal with, give them like 10 days to close with cash, right? They were thinking about wholesaling that to their clients,
Uh-huh.
make 200K, right? And I
Right.
was like, okay, what was your price? What was the on the contract price? He told me 3.2. I was like, okay, 3.2, you're gonna make 200K. So your client couldn't buy it for like 3.4, thinking still a deal. But they didn't close because they didn't have the cash.
Ah.
So I was doing my math. His cost was 3.2, and he wanted to wholesale at 3.4. And my cost was 2.8.
Oh, wow.
I was
Wow.
like, wow, I don't even know the DD anymore. I was just buying like blind, right? Blindly. Yeah, now I knew it's a deal, because hey, 3.2 to 3.4, my cost 2.8. No brainer,
Mm,
right?
mm, mm.
And so here's the number. When we bought it, 58 units, or the senior living, it was all one bedroom. When we bought it, the average rent was 786. There was the rent, 786. That's May 2021.
Oh, yeah.
My
Okay.
rent today,
Yeah. Oh,
renovated already,
yeah.
it's 1,600.
Oh, wow. Doubled. Yeah.
Double, yeah, yeah. And I mean, it's tough market right now. As you know, the interest is pretty high.
Oh, yeah.
So all-in cost for the 58 units is actually less than $7 million. But I keep getting broker calls. They're doing BO. I had like 3 BOVs already. They're the BOV valuation is like 12 to $12.5 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we only put $2 million down. We got $5 million debt from a local credit union. So basically, we're putting $2, we'll make $5. Within like
Yeah. Right.
yeah.
Right.
So I mean, it was we got lucky. We got lucky, but it was a tough deal. I
Yeah.
usually sleep pretty well, but for that particular deal, it took us 5 months. I couldn't sleep for a few days. Yeah, because just things just
Yeah.
it's just yeah, just like one after another one. I was like, man, it was tough. But yeah, but there was our first big deal out of state with Chaplin.
Oh, my gosh. Wow. And so how many
Yeah.
units do you now have?
we have about 70% multifamily, and then we have about 30% self storage. Total, probably like I'll say about like 350 units.
Yeah.
Multifamily, another like I forgot, I don't know, another like maybe 2,000 units of self storage. Total about just north of 100 million, AUM
Wow.
under management. And we also help another local family office manage $50 million. But yeah, 100 million our own portfolio. Then we help another family office manage 50 million. So total AUM is like $150 million. Yeah.
So are
So
you managing them yourself, or do you have a property manager that does
we
this?
self manage everything.
Yeah. Okay.
We self manage
Okay.
everything. Yeah. So so we have 50 units in Atlanta and 58 units in Seattle that we don't manage ourselves. We only
Ah.
asset manage, but for all the rest of the properties, we self manage.
So are you using Yardi? What are you using for your
Portfolio.
app?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. For the self storage, we use different system. It's called Tenant Inc.
So how are you finding deals now?
So before, most of deals we source from brokers, like
Yeah.
relationship. Because I mean, I was a broker, so I think my advantage was that I know what brokers want. I know what sellers want, right? Not
Right.
necessarily they want. I mean, yeah, everybody know they want quick close and all cash, but not that. But in a lot of cases, sometimes that's not what they want. When people sell property, it's not about so a lot of times it's not about the property itself. It's about the family, the personal life, right? Change,
Yeah.
right? So
Right.
they, for tax purpose, for whatever purpose, they may want a quick close, and a longer escrow or set of financing for. I think my advantage is that I'm able to. I mean, having a broker background, I was able to actually. I always able to uncover sellers motivation, the true motivation and sellers need, and also what broker wanted, because broker may have different agenda sometimes, right?
Right. Right.
So yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's my advantage, by kind of finding those deals that people
Yeah.
don't know about. Yeah.
Right.
That's first thing. Second, what we have been doing in the past 2 years is more like off market approach. So I'll take on a lot of brokerage job. For example, what we've been doing to source land in the infill area is that we'll identify like property, like just say in a city of whatever, right? In this particular submarket in LA, well,
Yeah.
based on
Right.
our criteria, we'll identify 198 parcels. Okay,
Right.
in the fit,
Right.
fit our in the different criteria, we'll contact the owners directly one by one.
Oh, wow.
So we'll send a letter. We will cold call them, and we will knock on doors.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
we bought like 4 lots last year. That I'll tell you all the story. So actually, we have a I don't know, we have a big machine. We bought it for
Oh,
like $11,000.
oh,
You
yeah.
handwrite all the letters. You handwrite all the letters. You
Oh,
hand
yeah.
just
Yeah.
the envelope. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was
Yeah.
like I bought a
Yeah.
cheap one
Pump
in
it out.
China for like $300. Yeah, and it didn't work. So I was like, it didn't work. So we actually bought a pretty expensive one. It's $11,000, a pretty big one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we send out like a lot of letters every single month. And some of the properties, if we can not get a hold of the owner, we'll actually just go knock on doors. So for example, give you one example, I have a full-time associate locally, kind of, help me like cold call and knock on doors. So he'll go to like probably that we were chasing, say, hey, Victor. He's like, oh, who are you? Because I think he was like filing divorce with the wife. He thought we were serving subpoena.
Yeah. Oh, oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
oh,
Yeah.
who are you? Like, are you serving subpoena? I said, no, 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 no. We were here just wanted to buy your properties. Yeah, it was a funny story, but yeah.
No
So we were
subpoena.
buying.
No subpoena.
I
Yeah.
know. My guy was waiting there for like an hour and just, hey,
Oh.
Victor. Yeah, yeah. We'll do all that stuff, just weird stuff. Yeah, but yeah,
But
that's probably the.
now you're actually developing projects, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah, yeah. So
yeah.
this is our first developer. So this particular building we finished that on March 2020 when the lockdown happens.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, but in the past 2 years we bought like probably 6, 7 different projects. Our sweet spot is in LA. It's all local in the select like cities. Our sweet spot is 30 to 60 units, brand new. That's our
Wow.
so we still perform so in-house concrete and framing. So our cost is typically like 5 to 10%
Oh,
cheaper
wow.
than my competitor. Yeah, and
Wow.
not only we build for ourselves as a developer, we also serve. we also like offer a builder service. So we'll build like for other family office. Right? We are working on like a 67 unit right now. We're building for them too. So that's kind of what we do to bring kind of additional cash flow in the stock market.
Wow. Wow. So
Yeah.
how do people get a hold of you, Tim? They have a piece of dirt or an apartment that they want to sell off market. How are they going to find
Yeah,
it?
yeah. So just three ways to get a hold of me. The best way is always to email me. So my email is, I mean, you can list the email on, like, I think, on your podcast, or like on the description. It's
Right. Right.
T as in Tony, C as in Charlie. So TC at connectedcompanies.com. Connected with the TED, companies with the
Yeah.
IES.com. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
TC at connectedcompanies.com. And my phone number is 949. Actually, I need to take a look at it. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's
Nobody
my
knows
work
your
phone.
phone
Yeah,
number
it's my work
anymore.
phone number. Yeah, yeah. 949. Let me see. Work phone number. I'll give a phone number later. But the other way to get a hold of me is actually, if you're Chinese, you have a WeChat. My WeChat ID is CRE Investor. That's it. So commercial real estate, right? CRE Investor. That's my WeChat ID if you use WeChat.
Oh, cool. Yeah. All right. Well, great to talk to you.
That's a wrap on today's journey through the SF commercial real estate scene. Ready to share your story? Visit sfcommercialconversations.com/guest. Your insights could lead the next conversation.